All right, Israel's fighting now for its very existence and survival. The terror threat to our homeland is now surging, and sadly, our country, our borders are more vulnerable than ever. Look at this data released by the CBP showing thousands of special interest aliens. They have been arrested at the border just since October of 2021. 3,153 illegal immigrants from Egypt, 659 from Iran, 538 from Syria, and we have, a ton from China and a ton from Russia. We continue with Speaker Mike Johnson, along with Texas Congressman Chip Roy, Florida Congresswoman Cammack are with us. Good to see you all. Thank you for being here. And I wish we could put all of you on. You all deserve to be on.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
If you all unite together, there's so much that can get done. I want to talk about. I never thought in my lifetime I would see this level of virulent hatred, anti-Semitism that we're seeing. We're seeing it in the halls of Congress. We're seeing it at Ivy League universities. We're seeing it in a packed house in Times Square in New York. Biden has let the door wide open. This is your state, Chip. By the way, Kamala Harris today says the POTUS and I are announcing the first national strategy to combat Islamophobia. I thought we were in the middle of an epidemic of anti-Semitism, which is strange. My question is, what are we to do here? Ukraine has already gotten $76.8 billion. Joe wants another $61 billion. Israel, he's offering only $14 billion. The border is only offering $14 billion. And he wants to give $100 million to the people of Gaza. And I would argue they're not going to get a dime because previous humanitarian aid has been building out these terror tunnels and buying rockets to fire into Israel. So are those the right numbers? How will Republicans counter Joe's proposal?
Well, Sean, look, we're all here united, standing shoulder to shoulder with Israel. We're ready to send over a sole legislation that would focus on Israel that is paid for. Unfortunately, I think our Democrat colleagues are more interested in siding with the IRS and expanding it to go after the American people than they are to side with Israel.
Now, this is important. What you want to do is take it away from delay the money that would hire 87,000 IRS agents to harass me further.
Right.
And harass other Americans.
Yeah, but meanwhile, this is also the result of an appeasement strategy under this Biden administration, where we are allowing Iran to enrich itself, selling oil to China because we don't put the sanctions in place. We've been continued to fund through the United Nations and UNRWA and through the Human Rights Council. We've been funding all manners of sins through the perpetuation of hate with the Palestinians. We've been funding the universities that are teaching our young that it's perfectly fine and acceptable to perpetuate hate.
Should we stop funding universities that allow that to go on?
I mean, no question. Why are we funding these universities with massive endowments to continue to perpetuate hate? We should defund that.
Well said. Congresswoman, what are we to do? In the last 2 weeks, there's been 27 attacks against American soldiers in Iraq and Syria. Joe Biden had 2 little pinprick responses, 2 empty warehouses. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And they're firing at our soldiers.
Yeah.
What should our response be?
Well, think about this, Sean. Just tonight, over 50 Democrats voted to enrich the uranium program with Iran. They said that they were okay with a nuclear Iran. A resolution on the House floor, 50 Democrats said that they were okay with a nuclear Iran. So that tells you everything you need to know about the Democratic Party today. We have gotten so far away from the basics, and that's what we need to be focusing on: our national defense, rebuilding our military, having our readiness. But when you have a commander-in-chief who is more like a trafficker-in-chief, a guy who wants an open border, crime in the streets, spend us into oblivion, we have no capability to actually be prepared for the war or the conflicts that are coming. And certainly where we have had money, taxpayer money going, we have not got a strategy. There's no accountability. And for the American people, they're infuriated, and rightfully so. They deserve a plan. They deserve accountability, transparency, and we need to have the backs of our men and women in uniform every day, all day,
the head
without
of the
exception.
snake, I mean, look at the challenges Israel's facing. Yes. They got Hamas, Gaza in the south. They got Hezbollah, Lebanon in the north. Now the Houthis have declared war. Erdogan is saber-rattling, threatening Israel. You got the mullahs in Iran threatening the same. You got Putin meeting with Hamas leaders. How do we cut off the head of the snake? Doesn't this all go back to Iran, and what should America do?
Well, I'm getting the exit music in my ear, but here's what we need to do: stand with Israel. The first act that we had in my speakership was the resolution where we formally stood with Israel, and now we're pushing the funding package to do and provide for them exactly what they need. We're going to get it done.